Morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is April 26th, and today we're working on our 5-star rating app, and today I'm going to show you how to store data inside the database, and we'll go ahead and throw it into the Fusion table also. All right. And then if you guys want, once we get the Fusion set up, we can go ahead and view it right here on the web viewer. What? Yeah, I already did. Yes, these videos will be posted. The videos don't do a lot if they don't get posted, right? So let's go into our blocks. And this is what we did yesterday. So we're going to set up some little snippets here. Let's go into our screen one, initialize. This is what starts the project. And we're going to go ahead and do an init call. So we're going to create a procedure called init. And we're going to initialize our database. Okay. So right over here, we'll come over here and work on our init. And we can tell these guys right here to hide the keyboard. If that's happened. Of course, I don't know why the keyboard would be out. We can set our LBL results to nothing. So you just go ahead and set this to blank. Text box is nothing. And then we want to set initialize a global variable. So this is going to be a little different than you've done. This is a local variable. And you want to set up, let's call it rating. And we're going to set up a rating, and we're going to go ahead and call your database. Call TinyDB and get value. And the tag on this is going to be rating. And right here, what we're going to do is create an empty list. So go up to your list and create an empty list. Because obviously there's nothing in the database here, so we want to create an empty list and fill the empty list. So we're going to do an if statement right here to go through and fill the database. If not, here is, oh, nope, wrong one. Here's your logical not. If not, is list empty? So does anyone know what not is list empty? Anybody know what not is list empty? Not empty is what? What's not empty? What? Full. Something's there. Okay, so you go into your variable, and you're going to get your ratings variable. And then you can select items from the list. So what do we have? we could go ahead and set owner's name. We're really kind of doing this right here. You could take this stuff and put it in here. Contractor name. Oh no, I'm doing something different. So TXB owner name. .text. You're going to select it from the item in the list. Go to your list, select item in the list. And this is going to be your list of ratings. And index is number 1. And then we'll have the contractor name. What did we do with the comments yesterday? Did we do anything with the comments? We forgot comments in here. We need to make a variable in here called comments. And when somebody presses go or presses a rating button, we need to get the comments to be from the comments box. Forgot to do that yesterday. And what I like to do is U-case everything so that when you put it into I like to U-case it so that everything looks nice in your database. Does that make sense? Copy that. Get your comments in each one of these. Would have been nice if I would have had this done yesterday, so we could have easily copied and pasted, but it's all right. You just keep putting in one thing at a time. You know what would be cool is that every time you got a rating, it got emailed to you. Remember we did the send email? Why are you reading a book? Let's don't do that. Let's don't do that. Please. We're working. You should be working. All right, so I'm going to do this a little bit differently than what they're doing on this paper. So I'm going to go ahead and get the owner name, just like this, contractor name, and then this is going to be list number 2, and then I want the rating. And then the rating is going to be in number 3. in our list. And then total rating score. So this will be total rating score. Go to 4 in the list. Then we're going to have rating count. It's number 5 in the list. And then we're going to have average rating. We're going to store all this data. Why? Because we can. So average rating is going to be 6 in the list. And then your comments. Is going to be 7th in the list. Okay? So that initializes everything. And then what we want to do right now is we want to create a save function so we can start storing these values. So we're going to go over here and create a procedure to do again. Good lesson on procedures today. And we're going to call save. And I'm going to call it save to database so you guys know exactly what we're doing. And right here, when we get all this stuff, we're going to go ahead and call save to database. And I will go ahead and put that guy. I'm going to duplicate this guy multiple times. 4 more times. We're going to call save to database. We're going to call save to database. And over here, we're going to call save to database. Oops, wrong place. And one more. Save it to the database. So every time you rate, you have to save it to the database. Does that make sense? And then we're also going to do one where we save it to the Fusion table also. Okay, so we can go back over that for those people that forgot how to do Fusion tables or are not that experienced in it, because it is a complicated technical thing to do. So we'll work on that. So now you're just going to go and store it into your TinyDB. So you're going to go store value. By the way, up here, this is get value, and this is store value. So now we're storing the value. Okay. So what's the tag? Well, the tag's the same tag we had up here. It's rating. And the values to store, you're going to make a list. And then what we're going to do here is put everything that we have here into the list. So this goes to, so what's one going to be? One is going to be owner name. So you want to go ahead and get owner name. Okay, what's the name of our list? There it is, owner name. And the next one we have is contractor name. And then you want to make more of these. So you just take your items, add more items to the list. And what's the next thing we want to get? We want to get the rating. So you go up here and you get your rating. And then we want to get total ratings. You're just going to go right through this just like you did this list up here. So this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 should match exactly what we have up here. So you just go through the list. Ratings, total ratings, rating count. And then we have average rating. And then we have comments. And there is one more thing I think we ought to do here, and that's we ought to get the date and time. Would you guys want to know the date and time when someone rated? Yeah, so let's go get a clock here. And let's go back into our screen. Let's go back into our designer. Do we have a clock? Yes, we have a clock. So let's go call this clock, rename it clock date time. Okay, so we're going to store the date and time with that clock. Go into blocks, and let's see, every time. So what I think we ought to do is I think we ought to create another variable. And I think we ought to have another variable called date and time. Date, time. All right, set it to nothing. And then all I'm going to do right here is go ahead and get my date and time, set my date and time. So I'm going to go right in here. Okay, I'm going to set my date and time. What's the date and time going to be? It's going to be whenever they clicked on that button. So you go back here and you're going to get, I like this format right here, where you get the month, the day, the year, the hours, the minutes, and the seconds. We can know all that. Are you with me? And then this is an instance of the clock now. So go find the clock now, and that will, what that does, that goes into this clock of your computer or your phone, and it grabs that date and time of exactly like right now. What would it grab right now? If I hit the button right now, this would grab April 26, 7:43:34 seconds. You with me? It grabs all this from the computer. You guys with me on that? So that's a very simple thing to do. So you just take this and copy and paste it into every block. Right here underneath average. Drag this guy down. Okay. And store your date and time. And there you go. And one more. Okay. So let's go ahead. Now we got to set up our database again, right? So let's go underneath comments, and we'll go ahead and set date and time. And this will be rating number 8. All right, so that's set up. And now we need to store it. So we're going to go one more list. And in here, we're going to go ahead and get the date and time. And there you go. All right, so now that's all stored in the database. And if you want, you could do a little notification here just to tell you that, show an alert that data has been stored in the database. Rating has been stored in TinyDB. Okay, so that's done. And now you're storing everything in the database. That's it, under rating. Okay? Who understands what I just did there? Okay, if you don't, just go over this code a couple times. Now what do we need to do? So now we need to do another one of these, right? So I'm just going to copy and paste this guy, and we're going to save to Fusion Table. So I'll just save to Fusion Table. And now we need to go and work on saving this to a Fusion Table, okay? All right, so now we need to go and do some work on saving to a Fusion Table.